Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good day, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we are so thrilled and honored to provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and today's show is the United Kingdom News and Culture. It's episode 118 already. I can't believe it. I want to say hello to our loyal followers on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, and also to our new followers who are joining us on Roku Worldwide, as well as Amazon Fire. I'm not alone here for the show today, although we have a small group. There are two of us. Simon MacDonald is out on assignment, and DIANN FLOYD has the day off. I am joined by the superstar, the absolutely glorious, glamorous, beautiful Helena Chard, who is our expert correspondent from the United Kingdom. She is an expert when it comes to all things about the royal family. She also is a well-being advocate, and she's a company director. She's an entrepreneur, and she is a phenomenal photographer. Let's welcome her to the show. Hi, Helena.
It's me. Thank you, Jacqueline. What an intro. Hiya. So good to see you. I raced here. I'm here. Fabulous.
I know. Every week I know you're racing to get back, and I'm so glad when you make it. I see those photographs come over. I'm like, yes, she's going to be joining us.
Fantastic. I know. Just us today. Everyone's out and about.
Everyone is out and about it. And before we get into the news, I just wanted to ask you, because you have other shows that you do as well. And I wondered if you might be able to share with our audience something about them and where people could watch them.
So I obviously I'm a specialist in the royal family, as you said, and I'm a royal photographer. So I work with various broadcast platforms. So here, well, basically international. And I speak with various platforms about what's going on. People want to know what's happening with our wonderful royal family. So a lot of it's on YouTube, I would say. But I also It's the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show that I present with Ian Pelham-Turner, who we have on from time to time, or we may be having back on from time to time. We do that show, and that I know that you also put the show out, Dr. JACALYN, which is great, and it's on E360 and it goes out European-wise. I don't actually know all the platforms, which is a bit naughty, I know, but it does go out to various places. And yes, I spend my time really doing all this work, which is really fantastic. And now and then I do photography, which is actually coming back, which is lovely. I've not done it so much for a while, but there are lots of events coming up. The summer calendar for the Royals is huge, so I'm looking forward to getting out and about, because it's always such good fun when the sun's shining and everyone's smiling and happy and catching these wonderful shots. For various, I've got various clients that I work with, and yes, so I look forward to that. I do a lot.
You certainly do. You are multifaceted and multi-talented. So, Helena, something I wanted to ask you. We've read here, at least I've read, that the king is out and about, I believe, making appearances. And I've also read that Harry and Meghan, I think they founded a charity. I'm using this air quotes because I don't want to misspeak. And something's happened in reference to the charity. So anything that you can share about these two things?
Well, so King Charles is doing really well. I mean, we heard a while ago from Queen Camilla, who was trying to keep him sane, I think, and make sure he ate and drank well and was sensible, because he is a workaholic and he loves, as we know, getting out and meeting all the people and being king. And of course, he's waited a long time for it. So he's being careful, but he's out and about now. He's been given not the all clear, but he's able to now be out and about, especially as the weather's better, etc. So he's obviously doing well. He's had his first official garden party, and that was, I think, it was about 8,000 people. And he invites lots of people who have done good in the community and who've helped people and various things. So that was really good. I mean, he really, honestly, he looked like he'd just come out of being in a cage. He was absolutely so excited and bubbly and animated and shaking everyone's hands and chatting to everyone. He's become quite touchy-feely. I think the fact that he's obviously undergoing treatment for cancer, I think he's been given this new lease of life, and it really shows his empathy. I think he's more relatable. That's what's happened, and people are sort of feeling quite close to him, which is great. So the garden parties, and there's going to be another garden party coming up soon. I mean, there is so much. I'm really looking forward to Trooping of the Colour, which is good fun, and there's the races and all his diplomatic visits. I mean, he wants to do everything. He wants to do everything on the calendar, but obviously he still has to take advice from his team who are looking after him. But it's great that he can get out there. And I know that, I think you just mentioned about Meghan and Harry and their charity. So it's the Archewell Foundation, I think you're thinking of, and we heard that the status for the charity is that it was delinquent, and that's normally if you've done something wrong, because obviously it's quite, these charities are quite rigorous. You know, the things that you have to do to keep up. You have to make sure you file things, make sure you pay things. And I think it must have been an annual report and also the renewal fee that they didn't pay. So obviously after their trip, they got back to hear that the status was delinquent. So obviously they couldn't do anything with that charity. It's now fully compliant, and apparently it's standing well. It's good standing, I think they said. But they said it wasn't their fault and various things. But, you know, when you have charities, you have to be so careful. And I think as well, obviously, because of their status, it's amazing that this has happened. Is this a sign that, you know, that staff have left? I don't know. So things have been left a little bit frayed and untied. I don't know, but obviously it was a talking point. But I think it's all okay now. But obviously they've had quite a bit of promotion recently, but we'll talk about that slightly. But yeah, the good thing is it's really great about King Charles, and I just, it's I think, yeah, I'm so happy for him and the family.
Absolutely. And you said 8,000 people were there at this garden party?
Yeah, I think it was. I thought it was 4,000, and then I heard someone say 8,000. Now I don't know if this is Chinese whispers, but it sounds like an awful lot of people. But I will double check. But I did hear 8,000. And oh, do you know, we spoke about what's the young boy? What's his name now? Oh, goodness me!
One who was
There's a
raising
lot.
money?
Yeah, the one that was raising money for charity. Do you remember? And he unfortunately had very cruel parents, and he had to have his legs amputated, etc.
Yes.
And he was adopted. Oh, Hudgel,
Hudgel,
he's
yes.
9. Yeah. I mean, he was supposed to be at that particular garden party, and he couldn't get there, and he was on the motorway. And it's amazing the power of social media. He was so upset, and his stepmother, sort of, they sent out tweets and things, and by hook or by crook, it got through to the royal family, and they then put it out on social media that don't worry, you're going to be missed today, but you'll be at the next one. So they're inviting him to the next one, which I think is in May. So he was very excited about that, and he's done a huge amount of good. I mean, he's almost known as the Princess of Wales' friend, because they obviously do communicate quite a bit, and he's raised a phenomenal amount for charity. So it's just amazing. Isn't that
That
really
is,
how, if you try hard, it doesn't really matter how old you are, you just go for it, what you can do. So good for him.
I
Can't
need
remember his
to
name.
call him because I have to raise money for the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. I
Oh,
only have a month left. So
oh my goodness. I know. We need him.
there really is there's an art to fundraising for sure. But the other thing I wanted to ask you was, and I hope I get this right, I think I saw that Harry was snubbed the 3rd time by the king.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one in the sense that, you know, the royal family as such, you know, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, they're not going to be. It's not like a tit for tat thing. Now we know Prince Harry has his team, and they keep putting things out. They put statements out, and then everyone makes a judgment. But it's not always as it seems. Certainly, the king is not going to be answering and getting involved in certain things. I mean, he's very, very busy. He has all of his engagements planned, you know, so far in advance. It's all set up. It's not something that just happens on a weekly basis and they turn up. So although people are saying he's being snubbed, you know, Prince Harry, he sort of travels over for his projects, which is great, and almost assumes that he can get to see his father. At the moment, you know, you can't just expect to do that. I think the most recent one was he came over to St Paul's to celebrate the 10th Invictus Games. It's a celebration, and he put out that the king didn't see him, but you know, he doesn't always have to try and fly over, see his father. You know, he could have come the week before, where there was a longer bank holiday, and you know, this kind of communication that's going on is not as it seems, and it really should be done in private. It serves Prince Harry and Meghan very well, because it's sort of that woe is me, and then they sort of get votes, you know, thinking, oh, poor Harry. But things are, I don't know how, I'm not really explaining it well, but all I can say is it's not as it seems, and then things will come out. And there is obviously a trust issue as well, because as soon as Harry sees his father or speaks with his father, all of a sudden it's out there, or it's with a broadcast station, and it's something really now. Trust needs to be built up, and it should be done in private. We all want the positive, we all want things to work out, but it's going to take a while. There's a few bridges to build, I feel.
Now, I agree with what you're saying. I just have a question, which is, and I don't know what the protocol is, but I assume the king has a cell phone. Can Harry call directly and talk to his father and say, "Hey, Dad, I'm coming into town," or does he have to go through other people?
I mean, he can, but I mean, the royal family, they have, it's not like a normal family, and obviously the king is very busy. That they have a huge amount going on. So in a way, it's not as easy for him to just ring up and say, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow," because there's so much has to be planned. I mean, number one, security. You know, Harry's it really has to give about a month's notice to inform people things need sorting. It's not something that's just worked out last minute. So it's all, it's not like a normal family. There is so much to plan, but obviously it can come together. It could come together, and it shouldn't always be a sort of broadcast. It shouldn't be out there for everyone to know. This is something now that's a private thing that they need to sort, is what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I just was thinking that if he just wanted to have a conversation with his dad and say, hey, I kind of like to clear the air, is that something does that have to be scheduled, or?
I think it probably would need to be scheduled, simply because also King Charles is undergoing treatment. So although he's out there doing his work and he wants to do, he still gets tired. He's still affected, and obviously it's about his well-being while he's not well. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? It has to be balanced, but of course it could be sorted. It could be sorted, absolutely. And I just feel that this victim, unfortunately, Harry and Meghan have this way that it's always victimhood, which is not good. And I think things need to be spun around. I mean, my feeling is they're trying to win over Hollywood completely. So they're doing everything and they're using their royal platform in order to do it. But, we know what life's about. And, people are people, and you do have to build bridges. You just can't expect. It's funny, isn't it? What I find weird is everyone have different personalities. But as I see it, Harry and Meghan very much love the limelight, very much about themselves, and not. The royal family are about serving. It's about helping people, etc. Harry and Meghan, as I see it, yes, they are perceived to be wanting to help, etc. But it's very much about helping themselves, and about their platform. And as I say, wanting to Hollywood to love them. So they're doing everything they can to work towards that, is my feeling. They seem to like power, and obviously to keep a platform. And they obviously understand that in order to achieve, I think, what they want, they have to keep that element of royal. Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? We all want what's good, but I think it's because the royal side, they can't really say anything. That's protocol. So, and Harry and obviously his PR team, etc., Harry and Meghan, they can put out whatever they want. And they have been found to have not really have told whole truths in the past. So who knows? It normally takes a while, and then things come to light.
It is interesting, though, and obviously I'm not in Hollywood to speak about it, but from what you read, a lot of those relationships they're very tenuous. They're here one day and gone the next. Now, I do know that certain Hollywood actors, from what I read, that they've been friends for years. They were friends before they were in Hollywood. But I think trying to be in the limelight all the time and then hold the relationship with the family across the pond, I don't know. I don't know if you can have both.
It's hard, isn't it? I mean, I personally can't sit. And I think remembering that Harry and Meghan sort of literally ran away, really, didn't they? And they said they didn't want this. They didn't want the attention. They didn't want, the I don't know, the cameras and the flashes and actually what they're trying to achieve is a hell of a lot bigger than they had really in the UK. And they want to be seen, without a doubt. That's quite obvious.
Absolutely. They want to be in the limelight for sure.
They absolutely do, without a doubt. And they're good. They are good at what they do. That's why, in a way, if things were worked out and it was done correctly, when I say correctly, there has to be protocol that you keep to. It could work, because obviously Meghan, it comes from an acting background and can turn it on. And Harry is outgoing and vivacious and enjoys people as well. And that all, in a sense, is a good package, but it has to be used for good, doesn't it? That's what I think.
I agree with you. Well, thanks for discussing those topics with me. I know there's other news that you want to
Yeah,
present
there's other
today.
bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be bits and pieces that the royal, goodness me, there's loads of things. There's controversy, there's lots of arts and paintings, and there's lots of honours that have been given out. There's the Duchy of Cornwall and lots of things happening there, and housing. I mean, there is so much going on, but everyone, I think, is trying their best. But I think I'm going to start with, and this is sort of really the story of the day in a sense, and I do like anything that creates a conversation. It's it's obviously journalism, isn't it? And when you've got something that everyone has their views on, and has different viewpoints as well, I find it really quite exciting. So I'm going to start with, King Charles, lovely King Charles, he has just unveiled the first completed portrait of himself since the coronation. Now, it's very big, and it's something like, and this is approximate, it's something like, gosh, it's almost like 9 foot by 7 foot or something like that. So it's a big old, yes, there we are. Now there we are. This is in the Blue Drawing Room in Buckingham Palace, and it's by renowned artist Jonathan Yeo. This was commissioned actually in 2020 to celebrate the Prince of Wales, 50 years as a member of the Drapers Company. He is there. He sat for Jonathan I think about 4 times. This is prior to his cancer diagnosis, and obviously during this time he also became king. So it's quite a funny one in a way. He's wearing the Welsh Guards, the sort of regimental. I think he's been colonel in the Guards since 1975. So it's the Welsh Guards. He has a sword in his hand, but so that's a close up. I don't know what people think. I mean, I think it's very strong, and it's supposed to reflect the 21st century monarch rather than an old sort of old oil painting. Sorry, so it is oil painting. I just feel the face is very, very strong, and I just think, wow.
The face and
I
his
personally,
hands really stand out from.
they do. So it's oil painting. It's huge, and I don't know if you could see, but on his right shoulder, there's actually a butterfly that's there, and that's to add a little bit of the outdoors and the things that Charles likes, but not just that. That's the butterfly that's really quite almost extinct. But it's also supposed to be almost like metamorphosis. So it was prince to king. So what do you call it? Metamorphosis. That makes
Yeah,
sense, doesn't it?
metamorphosis.
Yeah,
How long did
yeah.
it take to paint this? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I think it took quite a while because he kept changing it, and he had 4 sittings. But so I think it was 2020 that this was commissioned. So, and it's only
Amazing.
now that it's been opened, and it's quite funny. I mean, he's quite self-deprecating, King Charles, and I think when he opened it, he took this great big black thing off of it and looked at it. I don't think he could quite believe it. He was quite astounded. But it's so many people are horrified by it. Actually, they think it's awful. They can't believe
Really?
it. Yeah, and I actually think, I don't know. I think it's quite good. I think lots of people have likened it to almost like the king burning in hell and madness. I mean, I would say a phoenix rising, if that
I
was
want
the
to look
king.
at it again. Yeah, it's interesting because it's red and orange and black. And then
That's
notice that the uniform is you can't see the colors of the uniform because of the red and
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
So it's really supposed to be indicative of the color of the uniform, and that's why he did that sort of red
Okay.
all over.
But look at
But
the
I think
face.
it's
It's so
pretty,
well
wow,
done. Look at it just
isn't it?
it really is. And it was
I
done by one
see
person?
strength.
Just
Yeah,
one
it's
yeah.
done by him, and he was. I think GQ magazine, they voted him the best artist, the best portrait artist, best artist, I think, in 2018.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's really well set. He's had some beautiful pictures. I mean, I think the best, I haven't got them to show you, but the best was the late Prince Philip, a really fabulous portrait. And he's done Queen Camilla, so he's done loads of different people, even David Attenborough, but he's just a really great portrait artist. So Yeah, so I love things. I love art, and I want to be able to see it. And I don't know where it is going to be shown somewhere. Well, we can just go and see it before it's in its main place. But there you go, reflecting the 21st century monarch. I think that's pretty lovely. And also, just to say as well, and I sort of talked about it a little while. So moving more, as in moving, is really great for our mental health. And that's actually the theme of Mental Health Awareness Week that we're in at the moment, so 13th to the 19th of May. And since 2001, the Mental Health Foundation here leads this week. And it's obviously well known that regular physical activity sort of improves our mental health and releases those endorphins, and it also helps with sleep and various things like that. But the hashtag at the moment for this week is Moments for Movement, Mental Health Awareness Week. And to remember as well that Heads Together, which was formed in 2016, is a campaign encouraging people to have important conversations about mental health. And that was set up by the Prince and Princess of Wales. So it's always good to say that. And obviously, not Princess Catherine at the moment, and we obviously wish her well, but Prince William has been travelling around and speaking to school children about mental health. So it's always great to keep speaking. And I always say this, I worked on a mental health show, Wellbeing show, and this was, gosh, a long time ago now, but gosh, 10 years or something. But, at that time, no one was talking about mental health wellness. And it was really such a stigmatized thing. I mean, now we're a lot more open because everyone talks about it. So just goes to show it's always good to talk about it. But moving on from that as well, the Prince of Wales has visited he is now the Duchy of Cornwall. He's the Duke of Cornwall, so he's got his new role, and he has to do a lot of work now. It brings in a lot of money, though, I have to say. But he has been in Cornwall, and it's been brilliant to see him moving around. He's been playing volleyball on the beach and various things, but he also visited Cornwall's first homeless housing project. And apparently 24 homes have been built on the land in Newquay, and he went to see it, and he actually showed him digging, where it was about to be built, and it was absolutely compact. He couldn't actually get the spade in, which was quite funny. But he was in Cornwall, playing volleyball, meeting the locals, and really just going to the local businesses, which obviously gets them on the map. And he even went to a Cornish pasty shop and bought Cornish pasties for the family. He was in the Scilly Isles, which is where they all sort of used to go on holiday. That was him, Harry, Diana, everybody. So there's a lot of sunshine, a lot of fun. And it's always great so that's one picture, which is lovely, but there's lots of pictures that were taken. But it also chimes with his work with climate change as well, because it's all about enjoying staycations and, enjoying Cornwall because it's a beautiful beach area. And really, it's great for community, great for the businesses, and great for the economy, which is what we all need. So that's great. I really enjoyed sort of hearing everything about that. But I will also just mention as well, because it's something that was interesting. Obviously, as we know, Harry and Meghan were invited to visit Nigeria, and they were invited by the government, the Nigerian government, but it wasn't a diplomatic tour, so not okayed by the British government, no seal of approval there, although it was like a mock faux royal tour that they did. But the reason why I just wanted to bring that up is because the good thing about it is the mental health wellness element that rings through it. So it was very much, they visited schools, the whole inference of it's okay not to be okay, and how to deal with your feelings was there. Obviously, the Invictus Games, everyone loves the Invictus Games. That's a sort of something that Prince Harry does very well. It's a great press moment for them, and obviously the Invictus Games, as we were talking about just now, it elevates them in the world of philanthropy. So they've taken the opportunity, the PR opportunity, because they need to keep their royal platform. And it's something I think that they realise now, and obviously everyone sees it as well. But interesting just to see. I mean, it's not been long enough since, but I'm interested to see like a true royal tour as compared to their ones, what the comparisons are. But within that, you know, there are some gems as well, and just interesting. I mean, Nigeria it's a very different place, and I think they've got something like 230,000 serving in the military, and the unusual thing is 30% are women. Elsewhere, it's 17% in the world. So there is a very big difference. And another reason as well for that meeting, you know, in Nigeria is they are looking at being hosts, I think, of the Invictus Games in something like 2029. And they were at the last ones in Düsseldorf. So all very interesting. And I think I will move on to King Charles. He has unveiled the first. No. We've already talked about that, haven't we? I think I'm going to move on to King Charles and the giving the Prince of Wales a new title. I'm trying to think now. Where are we, Jacqueline, with pictures?
We're up to Colonel-in-Chief of the Army.
Okie dokie. Yes, thank you. So King Charles, this is something as well. And this did also cause controversy. I have to say, there's just been so many different things. I'll mention why in a second. But so King Charles handed over the role of Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps to the Prince of Wales. Now, this is a military title, prestigious military title. King Charles has had it for 32 years, but he was given it as the Prince of Wales, and obviously now he's passed it on to the Prince of Wales, his son. He was tinged with a little bit of sadness as he handed the role over to him, but it was sort of almost a bit jokingly, you know, that the regiment's going to be really well looked after by Prince William. Prince William, because he's such a good pilot. So they're in safe hands. And obviously, you know, Prince William, he's been part of the Royal Navy's search and rescue. He was a pilot with them, and he also served with the East Anglian Ambulance Service. So he's absolutely capable beyond belief. In fact, it was a ceremonial role, and he took a capability Apache helicopter test where, you know, obviously he had to prove that he could fly, etc. But the controversy here is that it is actually Harry's former helicopter unit, because when he served in Afghanistan, etc. But, you know, everyone's saying, oh, you know, it's really bad, and, you know, how could they have, you know, he have given it to Prince? But, you know, Harry's not a working member of the royal family now, and I just wish that people would stop sort of harping on about it. It is just one of those things, and I'm sure if things could be sorted out somehow, things could change. But for the moment, that is what Prince William has, and it was a great moment. And obviously there was photographs and, you know, lots of laughter, and there we are. That's handing over. Unfortunately, I couldn't find one because they were smiling and they were very happy, but they looked sort of quite dour there, not the best in a sense. But yeah, so great to see as well King Charles out, and that was in Hampshire. That's where that took place, in Hampshire.
How tall is the king?
He's quite short. He's about 5'9" or something, as compared to 6'3", you know. Yeah, I think 6'3", 6'2". I can't remember. Both Harry and William are obviously a lot taller. It's when you used to see King Charles with the late Princess Diana as well. You could see that her height. Obviously, she was quite tall as well. But he's fairly short.
Yeah, definitely in the Crown, in the Crown series, she looked very tall. I mean, how tall was she? 6 foot, 6'1"?
No, she wasn't anything like that. I think she was about 5'10" or something like that, which I think is still tall for a lady.
Tall. I'm 5'3".
I wish. Yeah, I'm 5'5", I think. So I'm just average, I think.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so really, it's so lovely with King Charles. So that was that, and just him and the garden parties and various things. But I think also it was lovely for him doing his first investiture ceremony. I think that's King Charles' first investiture ceremony since his diagnosis, and this was yesterday, I believe, where he greeted 52 recipients at Windsor Castle. And again, he was just so happy to be giving these awards out. They're honours, aren't they? It's like an honours lift. You have different ones, but I think it's lovely to see the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, who's lovely, absolutely lovely. He's been made, now let me see if I get this right, the GCVO, which is the Knight Grand Cross of the Victorian Order. So this is something which is an honour really from King Charles, and it's something that's personal that he gives out to people, key people that have helped the king or helped the royal family, and this is for his key role in the coronation last year. So he gave him his gift, and he was so lovely. He was just saying how moved he was. This is the Archbishop when he was helping with the coronation. And the funny story about him as well, he was the one that had these anxiety dreams for weeks prior to the coronation, because and every night he'd go to bed and he'd lose the actual crown. And he couldn't remember where he'd put it, and he'd go through, you know, was it Kensington Palace, Windsor, where is he? Just was, you know, you can imagine. I don't know if you have those anxiety dreams sometimes, completely irrational, but it went on for weeks and weeks. In fact, the funny thing about him as well is that he recently has found out that his father is not actually who he thought his father was, and it happened to be, was it someone who was Churchill's right-hand man. He's just found out recently, and he's been left this huge, his mother passed away not so long ago, and he was left a huge amount of money as well, millions, which was quite unexpected. I wish I had a photograph to show you, but I will show at one point. So, I mean, how it is, you just know it's his father. I mean, they were absolutely doppelgangers, really just like him, Justin Welby. But also, he gave out lots more honours. But we have somebody called Jilly Cooper here in the UK. I don't know, you may know her. She's known for her writing, but it's all these steamy, saucy, sexy books that she writes. And she, she's really known for them. And she's 87 now, and she still is writing and still cheering people up. But she also received a damehood yesterday. And true to form, she said, what did she say? She said something like it was orgasmic to receive that honour, which is so typical of her. I don't know if you know her in the States. Do you know Jilly Cooper at all?
Yes.
You do? But I mean, she was absolutely astounded, and it was all extraordinary. But for her to say it was orgasmic, it was just, oh, how typical. So, so lots of awards have been given out as well. But gosh, there's been so much going on. I
do have a question about that, about sainthood or damehood. How long does that last? The rest of your life?
Yeah, I think once you're given it, you're given it. And there's all the different honours you can get. And I have to say, off the top of my head at the moment, I need to recap. There's OBEs, and oh goodness, it goes on. And then you've got I can't remember them all. I won't go into it now, but there are lots of different honours that you can receive, and lots of people
do you get nominated for them, or
you do? Yes, you get nominated, so you have to be put forward. And I think it's not just by one person, it's a few people, because you've obviously done good in the community, or you could be topping your game as an actress, or it could be anything. Obviously with Jilly Cooper, so her books, isn't it? I've not read one of those books.
Oh, good.
I haven't read any of them. I don't know if you have, but I hear they're very saucy and passionate. Did you say you'd read some?
Yes, no, but so I had a question before that. We've had a number of people who've been on this platform, and they have a designation, and I hope I get it right. I think it's MBE.
Yes,
What
and
is
that's,
that?
oh gosh, Jackie, do you know, I'm going to come back to you on all of
Okay.
those. I can't, do you know, at this moment I can't. It's just
But it
escaped
is it
my
a
brain.
royal designation or it's
Yeah, it's given to it is royal, but it's not the same as it the personal
sainthood?
one for the king.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's, but obviously it is royal, yes. But normally it's sort of Parliament is aware of it as well. So it's a, but it's, they're great. I mean, honestly, you can't get better than that.
Because
And
someone
also
will
we
say to me, "Oh, I want to introduce you to someone. They have an MBE," and I'm thinking,
MBE.
"Is it a master's degree? Is it?" It's like, no, it's some kind of
Oh,
recognition. So,
do you know, of the order, of the order. Oh goodness me, I can't think. I'm going to look it up shortly, and I should know. It's just escaped me at this moment. There's MBEs, there's OBEs, and goodness me, there's just loads. And you've got special ones when you're doing Order of the Garter, and yeah, we'll
yeah,
talk
no
about
worries. We'll find out.
it.
And I
We
wanted to ask you
will.
something else, which is I believe that for this week's show, the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show, which will be airing today at 6 p.m. GMT.
Ooh,
Yay. I believe you interviewed Rocco Buenavino.
yes, that's
Yes, I
right.
love Rocco.
Yes, okay, Rocco. Oh, it's fun. Yes, and he's got that. He's got a great thing that's coming up in Chelmsford. It's a festival, and there's going to be lots of. It's really to bring communities together. It's to bring people together. It's to help people with getting jobs, with well-being, homelessness. So it's to, you know, really elevate people and so that people can connect. And also, it's a free festival as well in Chelmsford. I can't remember the name of the park, but yes. So Bono, he was talking about, talking about what he needed to get it off the ground. But that's in September, September the 22nd. I remember that because it's my mother's birthday. I wouldn't normally remember a date like that, but yeah, no, he's fun. He's met so many different people as well. He's put on special, an evening with lots of stars, and but he's fun, and it was a great chat. But he's going to be on, so everyone must watch, and I'm sure he's going to be back as well.
Fantastic. He's been on the Film and Music Show, and he recently signed up to do his own episode here. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Ah,
So.
that's great. That's so good.
And Helena, by the way, we are finished with our time for today, which we were talking
Yay!
backstage. We didn't know how long we were going to go. I think we could go a full hour at least.
Wow, that's amazing. Goodness me. Oh, I'm so pleased. I mean, we've had, there's so many more. Oh, Tony Hudgell, that's his name. Do you remember the young boy? Yes,
Yes.
the double amputee. So I just suddenly remembered his name. See, it's coming back to me, all these little bits. But it's been
I
great.
thought you were going to say when he was on the motorway, which I love that term motorway, because here in the States, we call it, on the East Coast, it's a highway. And on the West Coast, it's a freeway, but I like motorway. I thought you were going to
Motorway.
say they were going to have a helicopter come in and then they were going to go and get
Oh,
him and take
oh,
him.
wouldn't it be lovely? No, unfortunately not. So now he's going to be going to the other, I don't know what day, it's in May, there's another party. But he went to bed really happy, because you can imagine, he's 9 years old. He was absolutely so heartbroken not to get there. But to then see on social media that he was going to be really missed, he felt so special.
That is nice. What else do you have going on, or what have you not shared today that you want our audience to know about?
Oh goodness. Do you know what? I think I've shared my royal news. I mean, I'm complete. Yeah, I'm just going to share that it's really important to, if you've got family and friends, etc., just to make time for everybody. I'm happy to share that I will be going to Stockholm in a few weeks to see my sister and family, godchildren, nieces, nephews, and yeah, so it's just something I've been thinking about a lot, because it's amazing how time flies, isn't it? And you can sometimes not make time for things. So I'm talking about family, but it's making time, I think, for everything in your life. It's so important. I don't know whether it's my age that makes me think this, but I just feel making time for well-being, It's really, really, really important. And in fact, we were talking about moving more for our mental health, which is obviously the theme of this week's mental health week. For me, I will go for an early walk in the morning, and it makes a huge difference. Absolutely.
I agree with you. I've been following some different people on Instagram, and their whole platform is about fitness and well-being. And one of the things that I take away from it, because I'm a psycho when it comes to working out.
You're so fit. You're so fit.
But from what I'm reading from their posts, and I'm following a number of them, is that the go-to for most people, and I'm using air quotes, is the sofa or the chair, or they're sitting behind a desk, and just get, like you had mentioned at the beginning, getting up and moving around and doing something, but incorporating weight training. And I really, truly believe, with all the working out that I do, when I lift weights, I mean, I can see right away that it's working. So if somebody is out there like me and they want that gold star, or they want that immediate gratification, go and lift some weights. Speak to your doctor first, obviously, but the weightlifting makes a big difference, as opposed to all the cardio, which what I found as a trainer is people do so much cardio, but they don't focus on weight training.
Wow. So when you say weight training, is that because it tones all your muscles and makes you?
Yes. And if you think about it, your core is super important. So your core supports your back. Your back is what's supporting your posture. And so when let's say you're running or you're swimming or anything that has to do with cardio, you're actually breaking your muscles down. And when you're lifting weights, you're building them up. So it's
strength,
a combination of both.
I'll think about that. That's one thing I made myself promise, that I will get fit, as in get strong and fit.
And strong is sexy, by the way. I really believe that. And everything that I read, it's walking for 45 minutes. And the reason why I've read that the research shows that walking is so good is because the likelihood of you getting hurt is much less than you out running or doing some cardiovascular thing, especially as we get older, one misstep and that's it. So walking for 45 minutes a day. I don't know if it's 7 days a week, maybe 6 days a week, and then lifting weights 4 times a week.
Very good. But walking quickly, though, sort of with vigor rather than just
exactly. I like that, with vigor. Everything that you say
lovely.
Over there sounds much better than what we say here.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, it's been great, JACALYN. I've really had fun.
I've had fun as well. Well, our next show is coming up. It's with Ann Scotland. It's her Podcast Maestro Launch It program. So before we turn it over to her, Helena, if people want to reach out to you, follow you on social media, we've got your information here. We've got your email address. What else would you like people to know about following you?
Goodness me. I mean, I am on social media. I'm very naughty when it comes to social media. I need to up my game a little bit. But you will find me under my name, Helena Chard. And I'm on Instagram as well. And you can contact me. Probably best way to contact me is probably by my email address, hcpresenter@gmail.com. But you definitely can find me and on there. And yes, I need to do more with my social media. I need to make a promise to myself on that too.
It's a full-time job with social media, I'll tell you that much. It's like I create something and I've got to go to 5 Facebook pages. I've got to go to 2 Instagram pages, 3 LinkedIn pages. I mean, and you have to have a different size and form for each thing. It's
goodness, it puts me to shame, because obviously you're doing it from yourself, but also business.
Yes.
So it's a lot, isn't it? But I do feel that Facebook, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, it does seem, if I dip in and out, and I should really maybe try harder, but I just feel that you sort of see just odd things going on and people just chatting, but it's not necessarily focused. I don't know, is that the name of Facebook? Is that the way it is?
Well, here's what I would say. I think that's accurate. We were never on Instagram because StreamYard wouldn't, I guess it was Instagram wouldn't let you stream there, but now you can. So we're streaming to Instagram right now. But what I found is there's a lot more small businesses that are on there selling things. And I bought a number of things from Instagram, from seeing something on Instagram. Whereas on Facebook, I feel like it's more communication and it's more learning about people or replying or chatting. And then LinkedIn, I find, is really professional platform where people are collaborating or networking for business. And Twitter, X, I don't use. I'm on there, but I'm not actively on there.
Yeah. I think people have been put off Twitter, X, but for whatever reason. And it's all about algorithms and things as well, isn't it? And I just, yes, you have to work really hard at it. So I congratulate you, Dr. JACALYN.
Thank you. It's been quite a journey. And since I started teaching these fitness classes, I always ask the riders, the cyclists, or the people doing the other workouts, if we can follow one another. And they're on Instagram. So the younger people are typically not on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And I guess there's a whole bunch of other platforms I'm not even aware of. We're not on TikTok. I have a TikTok account for the Listening Mentor, but I'm not on there. It's not even on my phone anymore. So yeah, you can't be, it's a full-time job, Helena. You wouldn't be able to be the expert in the royal family because you'd be so much.
Anyway, thank you. I should take something away from that with that. Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. And we're going to leave now. We'll see you next week. And I believe Simon will be with us. Diane will not. She is on holiday, but we'll look forward to getting together again. So thank you, Helena, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. It's been great. See you next week.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.